Have you ever been told a scary story and thought, wow, I really wish I had a low-budget mass-produced animation of this? Well, it turns out YouTube was way ahead of you, producing works of fiction only comparable to Great Value Meat Canyon. Now, this internet phenomena is not a new thing. If you showed the first animation to a 9-year-old, he'd probably say it's analog horror. But as the years go on, innovation does its thing. Instead of having one really good horror cartoon, what if we had like a million bad ones? And so that's what we did. But as soon as people started producing these, you could kind of tell that they started to run out of ideas. You want a story about a creepy coworker? Boom, we got that. You want a story about being home alone? You got it. But what if you want something specific, like Peter Griffin going to Sonic and ordering way too much food? Oh brother, we got it. So today, me and you are gonna go on a little adventure exploring some of the worst animated horror stories I could find. So strap in. I'm gonna be rating these channels on a couple of criteria. One, is the story believable enough? Obviously, these stories are fake. I'm sorry to all the 13-year-olds I just scarred for life. No 3 Sandy conspiracy stories are not real. Number 2, is the story entertaining? If it isn't believable, then it should at least be entertaining. If I have to suspend my belief too much, then I probably won't really like it. And number 3, how good is the animation? Some of these you can really tell were made in 2 days. Which leads me to the first channel I want to cover, MJV Animations. This first channel is kind of one of the tamer ones. I wanted to start off small so that you guys can get prepared for the horrors ahead. The channel posts about once every 2 days, like I mentioned, and it looks like each video has slightly different animation style. They make pretty standard videos like 4 true thunderstorm horror stories. I don't really know who's looking for that, but they've been posting for like 4 years, so it's probably a dried up market. I'm actually kind of curious as to the origins of this channel, so let's look at their earliest posted video. True Home Alone Scary Story Animated. This one's about a blonde boy who got left home alone. Okay, not that one. The animation is significantly worse than what we're gonna see, so I'm glad to see that there's improvement in the animation. Improvement might be a strong word, but I mean, something changed. The boy is being left alone at 10 years old. His parents are going on a date. Apparently the boy is big into horror movies, so he has his mind racing about the possibilities. Now the animation is so poor that I really just want to jump to make fun of it, but this is a relatable scenario. The kid is such a pussy though that he had to turn every light in his house on to feel safe. Bro was playing some games on his PS2 when it started thunderstorming and knocked out the power. Hey man, this isn't 4 thunderstorm stories, get out of here. The kid equipped his flashlight just so he could go be a little bitch and hide under the covers. I don't know about you guys, but when I was scared, I used to bunker under my bed. I would barricade it. I was always prepared for a zombie apocalypse type scenario where I had to, you know, Rambo with my Nerf guns. He was so afraid that he couldn't fall asleep, which is kind of fair. But when he undid his safety blanket, he saw an intruder. Somebody broke into this guy's house while he was home alone. I can't believe it. The intruder started moving around and the kid did absolutely nothing like that was going to solve the issue. The intruder touched the kid's arm under the blanket and told him to go, so he ran out the house and called the cops. But apparently there was no evidence of a break-in. And then we get this magnificent transition. Holy man, this guy's face has not changed in the slightest. But now he has a goatee and a neck the size of a tree trunk. But come on, this was 5 years ago. I'm sure that the quality of the videos have gotten better, right? He said, sarcastically setting up a second segment to a video. So this newer one really caught my eye because the characters look absolutely appalling. I think it might be inconsistent line art or the way that the characters snap into positions, but it really just comes down to the eyes, I think. What the fuck were they thinking slapping 2 eyes on there that don't follow the rest of the style whatsoever? Some of these videos have actually decent character designs, so what was up with this? I really don't understand why a significant amount of these stories have a disgusting style. Like take this video for example, 4 true alone at night holiday stories. The first story was pretty well drawn. The animation still looks like shit, but there are definitely some shots in here that I would say are fine. Maybe not good, but fine. And the second story starts up and it looks like this. I went a little further in this video and I'm 80% sure that the animation has possibly, maybe, been stolen from somewhere. I have no proof, but it just feels completely traced over. But I think you guys get it. The animation's bad. They have to post so often that they can't spend time making the animation look good. So if the animation's bad, then the content must make up for the lack of quality. Let's take a look at 4 true thunderstorm horror stories animated. The third story in this video takes us on a journey with a security guard who's driving home in, you guessed it, a thunderstorm. He's taking some back roads because he didn't think about the weather affecting the roads so much. So when he came to a point where his commute was blocked, he realized he was gonna have to drive back, so he got frustrated. He backed up ridiculously slow, and for absolutely no reason, the car started beeping. Oh, and this is where the thumbnail shot came from. I just wanted to point out that they obviously spent all their time on this one shot for the thumbnail because everything else looks substantially worse. Also, why did he back up the car without looking behind him? This is just a situation that wouldn't happen. Oh, and by the way, he's shocked because there's a car behind him, and that's supposed to be the scary part. I think the real scary part to me is them looping this one animation over and over again. The car behind him is being a dick and not backing up. Guys, I'm putting my bets on a scary guy getting out of the car and confronting. Oh yeah, a scary guy gets out of the car and confronts him. Now this channel obviously has some horrendous animation, but surprisingly, it's not the worst I've seen. The stories for the most part are believable, but that's kind of what makes it boring. They never really set up any stakes in any of these stories, so I'm never actually invested in what's happening. If my friend told me one of these stories happened to him, I'd be totally invested, but I mean, I don't give a shit about this random guy. I just know that in every video, they're just gonna run away and call the police because that's what any sane person would do. I think it'd be cool if they had real people come up and tell their stories. That would be cool, but obviously it's not real, so whatever. This channel is gonna get a C tier for crap. And speaking of crap, let's look at Tuah Killed My Brother. This video was posted on IMR Scary Tales, and you would think that they're the only channel putting out scary Tuah stories, but we'll get to the other one later. But anyway, let's see how Tuah kills this guy's brother. The video starts out with a familiar narrator talking about how in his town he could not escape hearing about Tuah girl. Trust me guys, I get it. Tuah is the funniest thing on the planet, however, I don't think that she needs a billboard for it. After some more exposition and a very flattering depiction of Haley Welch on her famous YouTube channel Tuah Girl, they spend most of the beginning just glazing Tuah Girl. And I can't tell if that's because the animators are out of touch or if they're just trying to play into like the Twitter meme of everyone acting like it's the funniest shit ever. Apparently our protagonist's younger brother Jonah is super into Tuah Girl, eyes glued to the screen as he says her funny quips. I think that this might be scripted by AI if I had to make a guess. Anyway, Jonah frantically invested in Tuah coin, draining all his savings. So far this video is going in the #1 spot for realistic. It's really funny that there's scary music in the background and our protagonist talks about how they have a bad feeling about this, and this is really just an average crypto bro. There isn't anything scary going on. After the rug pull, Jonah lost his shit and tried to make himself look like Tuah. He tries dressing himself like Tuah and went out and told everyone that Coin would rise again. After people laughed at an obviously mentally ill person, he started swinging a knife around until the police showed up and pinned him to the ground. I don't know why they didn't just shoot him like any other cop would, but I guess this video just wanted to stay monetized. They make sure to mention that Tuah Girl went on like nothing happened, as if she needed to address this situation in the first place. I get that she, you know, took part in a rug pull, but like, she didn't drive this man insane single-handedly. It's just a crazy obsessed fanatic doing something crazy in public. That's not the first time that's happened. After that, it just started showing really glitchy images of Haley Welch and naming random facts. Okay, so Tuah never killed her brother. I feel lied to and betrayed, and I think that Tuah should have Tatsumaki Jonah to death, and that would have been better. However, after doing some digging on this channel, I found something actually kind of dark. This video is kind of an outlier with its silly nature. Most of these stories are stories of real people that went through traumatic events. However, they're all told like spooky ghost stories for people's entertainment, and they're handled with absolutely no sensitivity whatsoever. So we have poor animations of other people's real tragic stories on the same page as Tuah Killed My Brother. If my brother was shot and killed by 3 armed men and I had to see that somebody wrote a scary story that's literally worse than AI writing, I would be pretty upset about it. This channel's going into F tier because it made me upset. And it would be different if they just didn't choose stories of like real murders and then handling them with no tact. The rest of the channel's animated stories are for the most part the same as the last channel, and the Tuah bullshit is kind of an outlier besides like the Diddy one. My theory is that IMR Scary Tales is trying to compete with the other channel, Horror Shorts Party, who posts consistent meme content like 3 true Tuah horror stories animated. Yeah, this shit sucks. They also post a fuck ton of members content for some reason. They just spam their page with it. However, speaking of members content, I just dropped a Q&A for the Muck enthusiasts, so go check that out. This is also the channel responsible for the fated Peter Griffin horror story, and trust me, it's well worth the watch. And also, I just want to say that this guy puts a literal disclaimer saying, I'm gonna copyright strike you if I get the chance. It's probably just because he's a stupid loser that's afraid of getting his shit get made fun of. And while animation quality is better in most of these, the content he focuses on is so ass. See, this is the one with Sandy Cheeks conspiracy stories. What does that even mean? Anyway, for this channel, I'm just gonna be doing a recap of one of the stories with some like still images so that I can't get copyright striked. So let me give you my rendition of Peter Griffin in the drive-thru. This guy is really good at fast food work, but one day Peter Griffin says, "I want 1,000 cheeseburgers. Yes, I am being dead ass." So he says no, and Peter asks for hot dogs instead. The guy laughs and he says, "I can't make 1,000 of anything." Peter gets mad because he's insecure about being fat. Later, he rams his car into the fast food joint. That's it. That's the entire lore of this 7-minute animation. F tier, bro. This whole video goes in F tier, actually. These videos piss me off, like genuinely. I try to be constructive in my videos, but this is just garbage content farm slop. And I was gonna make a longer video about this, but I can't risk my video getting copyright striked by 1,000 content farms that can't admit they're content farms. All of these channels are the same recycled shit. And you know what? They're doing better than me. Maybe I'm just salty, right? These channels do so well, raking in millions of subs. And I get it to a certain extent. You know, they're just making what people want to watch. But I don't get why people want to watch this. It's so bad. Is it like a background noise thing? Is it just children watching this? I guess nobody can know for sure. But what I do know for sure is that I am done watching this garbage. And if I want to game the system, I might just have to join them. Now presenting One True Glubus Sans from Undertale horror story animated. So, one time Glubus was sitting on the couch and watching the hit show Family Guy, and he realized Sans hasn't texted him back in a bit, Sans from Undertale. Shook by this, he got up and looked out his window, and actually he saw what I believe was evil Sans, super scary evil Sans. After he shook and shit himself, he closed the blind to maybe so Sans doesn't get him, and then he goes back to sit and watch Family Guy, but Evil Sans is on the TV. He turns off the TV because Evil Sans is there, and when he looks down at his phone, he sees Evil Sans has said, "Hey, it's me, Evil Sans, and I'm gonna get you." Lupus then ran away and called the police, but Evil Sans was never seen again. Wow, that was amazing. Quick shout out to my members, Cheaty, Gus V, and Devin Ray Cox Gotcha Tail. Thanks for joining the channel, and I appreciate you guys' support. I'm honestly kind of scared to post this video because I don't know if the copyright police are going to come after me. I tried to make it under fair use as much as possible. I didn't play any audio. In that last channel, I didn't play the animations at all because they said, like, don't dub over this, and I feel like they probably have automated systems. However, if this video gets deleted, you guys know why.